Feasts and Sacrifices, chapter 29.
We're doing more.
Yeah, well, this is a lot of what we have in the first 4 books of the Bible.
True.
Go for it.
Dear kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. We thank Thee for the good time that we've had today, so thus far. We thank Thee for the good night's sleep we all had last night, and we thank Thee for the strength that Thou hast given us to continue our cleaning projects. We ask of Thee to continue to give us strength so we can get more done. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Okay, so, chapter 29, sacrifices are to be offered during the 7th month, including at the Feast of Trumpets and at the Feast of Tabernacles during the 7th month. So, both of those feasts happen in the 7th month. Interesting. That would be if the first month is April, May, June, July, August, September, October,
November.
Wow, that would be late in the year.
That would be basically that would be Thanksgiving, basically.
Their first month is April?
Yeah, because the first month was the Passover, and the Passover is always at the beginning of spring.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they
I
would.
mean, I'm sure they're working on a slightly different month time scale from us.
But if we were to assume,
their months were 4 weeks long, and
So it's basically the same, just about.
it's close.
Minus like 1 or 2 days.
Why did you come and get me?
Because we didn't think of it. We just started. They, instead of having 29 to 31 days, they have 28 days, and every couple of years they have to add a month in to bring themselves back into time. You remember a few years ago, Easter moved from almost summer to earlier? Do you remember how it had been walking forward?
to be honest, no, we hadn't been paying attention to the holiday at
I
all.
mean, the one thing I do remember is there was some
Thunder.
Yeah, we're going to have some rain.
There was some point in history where they didn't add a leap year or leap months or whatever, and they ended up with like a year that had like 40 months or something in it. I don't remember exactly, but it was just a really long year.
I think that was a Today I Found Out by Simon Whistler. It was.
No, I saw it in a different video.
Okay, either way, I watched that, and it was basically the setup for the Gregorian or Julian calendar. And what happened was they set it up and said, okay, this is what we're going to do from here on out. And so in order to do that, we need to get everybody into the same thing. And so they just added 3 months into the year, and it ended up being like a 15 or 16th month long year.
Yeah.
To get the...
What do you think those months were called?
They just said, we're going to just have these months, and
15th-uary.
who knows? Anyhow.
December Junior.
Yeah. December the 3rd. Anyhow. So, 7th month, this would be...
About November, which would mean...
late October to sometime in November.
So they were basically doing Thanksgiving.
Might as well be, because this would be after all of the crops were in, after everything was packed for the year, stored for the year, and they had a feast. This was the Feast of Tabernacles. They would live outside in the middle of late fall.
I mean, you also have to remember, seasons are different over there because they're in the middle of a desert.
Not totally. Yes and no, okay? If you look at the map, where we are in North Carolina is almost perfectly the middle of the Sahara Desert.
So they have a similar season, not really just a rainy and tropical season or whatever.
Their season is more like New England. They have the Gulf Stream carrying warmth up there, yes, but it also carries boatloads of moisture. I mean, a lot of Europe, good grief. England.
It's very wet.
Yes. And Salzburg is the wettest city in all of Europe. They have like less than a week of days completely clear of clouds.
And Israel is kind of similar to that?
Israel is close to the same latitude as like New York and Boston and stuff. And so they a lot of it gets sucked away by it going over the Alps and stuff. So they do still have desert, but they got the Mediterranean Sea pushing moisture into them.
So they're more like an oasis, basically.
Yeah, they do have a lot of moisture there. I just don't know enough about their climate to be able to say that it's a whole lot different than the desert, but it can't be all desert because they're so close to the ocean, to the Mediterranean. You know, they definitely still get weather effects from there. So, either way...
My apologies. I have interesting questions.
Yes, hey, that's great questions to have.
Always good to have questions.
They have late in the year when things are... I mean, around here, like the last week of September, first week of October, we go from typically fairly mild temperatures to 40s and 50s.
Especially last year.
Yeah, yeah. But that's normal for us. The last week or so of September, we have temperatures plummet. And within the first 2 weeks of October, we're rarely getting above 40, 45 on our highs for the year.
It's going to be worse whenever we go north, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Joy.
It'll just get colder earlier. We'll have a shorter summer, but the summers will be blazing hot. Anyhow.
It's like it's like somebody's pointing a flamethrower up there.
In the middle of summer, or at least late summer. Anyhow, we have 7th month, which would be, for us, depending on when they place the month in there,
Oh, I just remembered.
late October to middle of November. What?
Some deserts have snow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta love the fact we haven't actually started reading yet.
Anyhow, so let's start the reading. I did the title, you do the...
And
I was asking questions.
Yes.
So.
And in
we
the
had some good
7th month,
questions.
so the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you.
That would be a long day of playing the trumpet.
So they
Seems
just
to marching in.
blowing up to heaven.
No, this is their holy meeting, their holy convocation is...
I hope no one turned blue.
I hope no one turned blue playing the trumpet. They don't breathe out all the time. They do breathe in occasionally. So their holy meeting is to honor and celebrate God, and they spent a lot of time blowing fanfares and brass chorales, whatever, for reminding everyone. Oh, they also had the animal horn trumpet from...
Cows, horns.
yes, horns. Animal horns to just to make a great noise unto the Lord and have the praising of God going all day long. And I'm sure that they switched them out at least every 30 minutes. Maybe 2 hours, but depending on how good they were. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish.
And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram, and 1/10 deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs.
I watched a video this morning, and you watched some of it, from a person that calls himself the Tabernacle Man. Really fascinating how a person who may not have enough animals to do, a even regular sacrifice of an animal, they will bring some ground wheat or flour.
Ground wheat is flour.
Well, that's what I mean. They would bring their ground wheat that they would use. What?
I'm asking you, is
Oh.
that a spider on me?
They would bring the flour that they would use for their personal meal to be a sacrifice at the temple because they didn't have enough. They didn't have
Animal.
an animal that they could sacrifice because they just simply didn't have either any animals or enough animals to be able to offer one. So that's very interesting that every time you see the meat or meal offering, it's a pretty big deal for a person to offer their flour.
So it's sort of like a either or.
Well, it's for if you're rich enough to have an animal and offer that sacrifice, you can do that. But if you are so poor that you can't, but that's the thing, it might be their meal for the day that they bring to their sacrifice. Yeah.
It is what they gathered probably in grain in that one free space.
Who knows? Or it could be someone leave the corners of your field for the gleaners.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Could be a gleaner. Okay, so...
You're on 5.
And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you, beside the burnt offering of the month and his meat offering and the daily burnt offering and his meat offering and their drink offerings. That would have been a busy day. According to their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord.
And ye shall have 1/10 day of this 7th month in holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall not do any work therein.
All right. But ye shall offer a but ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord for a sweet savor, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year, and they shall be unto you without blemish.
And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals to a bullock, and 2/10 deals to 1 ram, a several 10th deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs.
I wonder if that means 1 per each or 1 for all 7.
Or maybe it's the amount that you would normally use to make bread.
I don't know. 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering of it, and their drink offerings.
And on the 15th day of the 7th month ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days.
If you're going to sit there and yawn, turn around.
I wasn't yawning. I was
It looked
blowing
like it.
myself.
It looked like it to me. Anyhow. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. Wait, why are we going up in numbers?
Is this for one family, one group?
That's a darn good question.
Okay. So, let's back this up. Okay. Looking back, on the 7th month, the first day of the month, you'll sacrifice the bullock and the lambs. On the 10th day, have another holy day and have a bullock, 7 lambs, and 1 ram. And then now we're down to the 15th day of the month, have a holy day, and you just read 13, right?
Yep.
That's when we have the 13 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs. And this is for all of the house of Israel.
That's still a lot of animals.
That is, really. They go through 500 plus animals every year. It's crazy.
Then again, they have a lot of animals, but like...
If you take in all of the animals of all of the tribe of Israel, it's a lot, but good grief, there's... this is just crazy.
How do you feed all those animals?
Well, they've got pastures.
Or what I'm thinking about is like, that's a lot of wood required to burn those.
Yeah.
And just in general, that would not smell good.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Burning flesh is not a wonderful smell. But, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deals unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2/10 deals to each ram of the rams, and several 10th deals to each lamb of the 14 lambs. 16.
And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering.
And on the 2nd day you shall... Good grief, again. Wait a minute. Why are we... 15th day. On the 2nd day... So the 16th day, I guess? You shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, blemish, defect.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering and the meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings.
And on the third day, 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering.
And on the 4th day, 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Real quick.
Where
So,
are they getting all these lambs?
They're burning a lot of offerings, or just giving a lot of offerings in general. What does God do with them?
Feasts in heaven?
This is...
Like, I know it's a really random question, but it just popped into my mind.
No, you're completely right. That video that we watched this morning had a really interesting point about sacrifice. The sacrifice is generally looked at as a bad thing. It's a loss. It's something we give up. But I liked how he altered the focus and said it's about showing and giving a gift to God. And yeah, I don't see how they would do all of this on one altar every time. I mean, this is a
massive pile.
That's literally 30 animals, basically.
Yeah, and that's every day for all of these days.
And lots of people bringing each batch in each time.
I kind of feel like they're doing the group of animals for the whole group as a whole.
Yes. This is for the whole tribe of Israel, for the Feast of Tabernacles, for these weeks, this whole month of holy meetings and celebrations and everything to celebrate the end of the year before we go into winter.
And God just kind of takes the sacrifices
And it's a chance to say we honor God, we are blessing God, and for God to say, thank you, I'm going to bless you with life throughout the year.
Sort of like tithing.
So then a non-God-oriented sacrifice would just be kind of burning for burning's sake, basically?
Yeah. That's what some of the sacrifices are. They're just slaughter for the sake of doing it. Yeah, there's a...
That's an interesting thought, though.
Yeah. There is a mention in later chapters of or was it earlier? I don't remember. Sacrifices to Molech. They have 3 girls who want to maintain their virtue and wait for marriage to give themselves to a man. And they kill him because they want to rape him. Because they can't stand the fact that these 3 girls are saying, no, we're not going to have a man. Fine, die.
What?
Yeah.
When was this?
I do not remember that!
It's in the Bible. We'll get to it if we...
I'm in Psalms, so...
I
I
don't...
probably already read it.
I don't remember where it is, but I do remember that, and at that time that it was brought to our attention, and it was just like, huh? You know, they burn babies to Molech, just
Ew.
stupid
Baal
stuff.
and all these other weird...
Is that sort of
Baal,
like
yeah.
abortion?
No, this is just...
No, just in the context, we didn't want to have a kid, so we're going to sacrifice it to this false god as a way to say, yeah, we've had our fun, but here, have this baby that we didn't want.
I don't want to say how that could go.
Anyways.
That's off. But
24.
For all of this, these are sacrifices saying we dedicate our lives, we offer our best, and we are worshiping and honoring God through our sacrifices. So, their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering.
And on the 5th day, wow, this would be the 20th day then?
Something like that.
Yeah, I guess. Unless this is going back and forth.
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm totally
It could be the
lost
start
on...
of next month.
Yeah. The 5th day, 9
Speaking
bullocks.
of rams, hey, shut up. Now you
Oh, yeah,
Brother
from
Bear.
Brother Bear. Okay.
Very off topic.
I know, but those rams, you're allowed to be that.
It was funny, yes. And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
So in the way that they've already stated to do. And 1 goat for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering and his drink offering.
And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs for the first year without blemish. By
It just
golly.
keeps going up. Doesn't it take like all day to burn these things in the first place?
Yes,
So
yes.
you're just having a 24-hour fire.
Yeah, really.
What
This
the
is...
heck?
Hey, before we go into winter, let's have a nice bonfire. I don't know.
A smelly bonfire.
Yeah.
Flesh.
And not to mention, they would be using a lot of firewood they could be using to keep themselves warm in the winter.
This is all part of the sacrifice. I don't know.
This is
I'm-
so confusing.
Yes, I'm not going to try to explain the purpose of this besides what I just said. It is
I don't blame myself for skimming.
it is a chance to remember God and honor Him.
And look at how things were done before
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Came.
fulfilled the law.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks and for the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number after their manner.
And 1 goat for a sin offering besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering.
And on the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish.
Oh boy. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the darn, my English died there for a second. For the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner.
And 1 goat for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering.
On the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly, ye shall do no servile work therein.
Solemn assembly, yeah. Just a holy meeting.
Servile work?
Servant work.
Servant. You said
So-
servile.
Don't do
servile.
your job. A day off.
I think I mentioned this to her when you weren't here one time. The work of a servant. So if you're feeding your family and your animals, but you're not going to repair your house, you're not going to till your land.
You're not going to clock in for a job.
Right. These are the
You're basically doing the basic treadmill work, but you're not doing the hard,
Right.
laborious.
Yeah.
Well, you're not doing the things above and beyond maintaining your health and family, because this is a day to rest from major labors.
So you can. So here's one example I just thought of. You can take a shower, but you can't do laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, man, look at me. That's why
Okay.
36.
What?
I'll tell you afterwards. But ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs the first year without blemish.
Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the ram, and for the lamb shall be according to their number after the manner.
And 1 goat for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering and his drink offering.
These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feasts, beside your vows and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings.
Peace offerings.
Sorry.
You said priest. Anyhow.
I hate my English ability
Priest.
sometimes.
Yeah.
What's a priest?
It's the short way of saying priests.
And Moses told the children of Israel according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. Wow. Okay. So
That is a lot.
that is a huge number of animals
That's like
and a huge number of
close to 200 probably.
or more.
Because
This
we're
is
not sacrificing a priest.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
that
like,
would be horrible.
If each of those is like 30, that's at least over 100.
Yeah, it's just
Very fast.
wow. This is a huge number of animals that are sacrificed. But they have people who eat meat on a regular basis, and most of the times because of poor storage conditions, even if you have a root cellar, you have to make sure that the meat won't go bad.
So you have to salt it really good.
Salt is a thing, or drying it out somehow, or smoking it or
Salt
whatever.
expensive, Nanda.
Apparently they're not buying salt.
They have to mine the salt. It's an incredibly expensive thing. But either way, these are the sacrifices of the year and what to do for especially this Feast of Tabernacles and how that went. I mean, the seventh month, the Feast of Trumpets and the Feast of Tabernacles. So the first set must be the Feast of Trumpets, and the second set must be the Feast of Tabernacles.
That's the only way that it would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know these well enough to be able to say that that's not true, or to say that it is true even, but that seems to be what it's about. But this is late in the year. They slaughter all these animals and burn them up, and wow. I don't know what to think. Maybe it helps thin the herd somehow, but
Not sure how.
yeah, well, it depends on how many thousand animals they have throughout all of Israel.
That's
But
fair.
we have a huge amount of sacrifices, and it's not a sacrifice of, oh, we're losing this. It's a sacrifice of, we are honoring God, and we really need to keep that in mind, even reading this and going, wow.
And in modern day too, whenever we offer tithing.
Yeah, it's a matter of honoring God, and like tithing is, God owns 100%, and we give him 10% of what he owns. You know, so
I mean, I'm glad that we don't have to burn animals.
yeah.
We're like, oh my
sheesh.
goodness, could you imagine?
Imagine
there
still
are
doing this
people
over
who
Jesus.
are against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who say they burn animals in their temples, and it's like, guys,
If we burned animals, you would be able to smell it and see pillars of smoke.
yeah,
How
seriously,
have
do
a
we
chimney.
have ventilation?
yeah. I've been past a funeral home and watched the
Morgue fire.
the incinerator working. They have a chimney on it. I haven't ever seen a chimney on a temple anywhere. And then they would have all of the ash, and they would have to cart out, several tons of ash every day, and you never hear that happening.
Yeah,
So
you would see that. There's no way you wouldn't
not
be able
hide
to see
that.
that.
So
We're not
yeah.
Walt Disney building underground tunnels everywhere.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm so glad that we don't have to. That's a different story. That we don't have to worry about all of the sacrifices today, because the sacrifice is actually a harder sacrifice in that we have to humble ourselves and say we are truly honoring God. So we are going to go more into, what was the next one? Oh, vows. And
I vow today.
well, that and fathers can say, nope, you ain't marrying my daughter. So we'll go into that tomorrow. See you then.
Bye.